Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, listen. I'm going to talk about something today that a lot of people have been asking me about, and that is how to become a minimalist. And I know you're probably thinking, how can I be a minimalist and someone of the prepared mind? And how can you use those two words in the same sentence? Doesn't it kind of contradict each other? Well, so much, so it makes you wonder if you can be a minimalist while at the same time being someone of the prepared mind. Okay. So to have a better grasp of this idea, it may be helpful to quickly define these two terms, right? A minimalist is someone who removes excess possessions from their life and tries to live with only what they need, right? Now, someone who is of the prepared mind is a person who works toward being prepared as possible for emergencies, disasters, stocking up on supplies like food, water, medical supplies, and other tools, right? So, in one hand, you have a minimalist who lives with a few possessions, and on the other hand, you have someone who's of the prepared mind who stocks up for emergencies and things like that, right? So, is there a way to combine these two lifestyles and be a minimalist prepper? I think there is. So, on the surface, a minimalist and someone of the prepared mind appear to be complete opposites. But I believe that there is a common thread between them, and it's reducing stress, right? A minimalist accomplishes this by not having as many physical items. Having a lot of stuff can weigh you down, but a source, like having a source of distractions as well as financial aspects involved, right? Now, someone of the prepared mind reduces stress by obtaining emergency supplies to be prepared for when something bad happens. Now, as someone of the prepared mind, it is reassuring to have, a 6 months worth of food, a year's worth of food, too, however much you have, food and water, supplies, but it can also be taxing at the same time. And those supplies require space, your attention, and possibly maintenance and upkeep, not to mention the financial side. So I am what you call like a full-blown prepper or someone of the prepared mind. I have a lot of stuff, but I'm also a minimalist, if that makes sense. Like, if you were to come into my house, like, I don't have like knickknackies and this and that and that. I don't have any of that. We have like our basic necessities, but we have our preps. Okay. Now, I used to have this and that and that, oh my god, and everything everywhere, and look in all of this and shelves up on the walls, and look at all the little knickknacks and everything that I used to collect. I used to have all of that. And I'm like, I'm really getting tired of dusting all this stuff. So having lived both ways as it relates to this topic, in my opinion, there is something to be said about the old saying, less is more. Okay. So if you are finding yourself stressed and you want to live that simple lifestyle, there are some suggestions to becoming a minimalist person of the prepared mind. Okay, now there are many things that a person can do to accomplish being a minimalist person of the prepared mind, but there are some broad suggestions. Okay, like, okay, the first one is needs versus wants, right? This is the first idea that needs to be addressed. And if you are honest with yourself, this can help you scale back a lot. Get out your prepper notebooks, okay? Draw 2 columns. Needs, wants, right? Now start going through what you have and do, what you think you need to be prepared, and place an item in that appropriate column. And it's good to have backups, obviously, for your supplies, because what? 1 is none, 2 is 1, so why not buy 3, right? Okay, so use that saying, keep that in the back of your head. But at what point does it change from being a backup to having an excess number of items that may never be used? Okay, so here's a personal example that is common amongst people like us. Okay, a knife is one of the most important tools to have, and there are not many of us out there that have only one, right? So it's important to have a few backups. That's a great idea. But I have known people, including myself, that have more than just a few. But most of us will have all of these and they'll never be used seriously unless they turn into a collection. And this happens with so many different items that come, with our supplies. Okay, so the next thing let's talk about is multi-purpose items. Trading in single-use items for ones that have multiple functions help to reduce the overall number of items that you do have. Okay, people have a bob. Okay, a bob is the it holds like 100 gallons of water. You put it in your tub, you fill it up. A lot of people I have one for hurricane season. Okay, or you have an outdoor pack, or you have a bug out bag, or things like this. Okay, there's so many different things that I can, popping off in my head right now that I can use as an example. Okay, you have your bug out bag, you have your outdoor pack, and they're all ready, and you're doing this because it reduces the bag's weight, right? Okay, so for example, there are emergency radios that have several functions, and one of them is the AM/FM radio, emergency weather radio. There's a flashlight, and they could be used as a charging station for a smartphone, and this turns into 4 devices in one. Okay, now here's another example. Would be to have a Leatherman, okay, that combines 10 or more tools into one package. Okay, However, there can be one catch to this approach. Single-use items, okay, are usually more durable and of higher quality, which can be lost on items that pack many different functions. But if you take time to thoroughly research products, quality multi-purpose items can be found. Okay, so if you can't afford a Leatherman, but you see the Gerber, okay, the Gerber is just as good, in my opinion, as a Leatherman. Okay, I have both, and guess what? My Leatherman, I've had it for so long, it actually stopped working, but my Gerber is still going strong. Okay, so it really all depends on you. All right, now the next thing that we're going to talk about is looking into history. Now, this is somewhat similar to what we just talked about. Okay, a modern bug out bag is full of modern conveniences and single-use tools, but it all depends on what kind of a bug out bag do you have. Okay, do you have a military style bug out bag. Okay, I have one, and it's got so many different compartments, and you can put all of this in here, and oh my gosh, and that, and I could put this in here and that in there and this in here and that in there. Okay, and when you're done putting everything that you want to put in there, you're like, guys, I can't stand up. It's one of those, okay? But many of them are helpful to and do offer a level of security, but not necessities, okay? And this may sound hypocritical, but here's an example for you. A GPS device is incredibly useful. And I often tell people they use them due to their effectiveness and ease of use, right? But they can be expensive. And like all technology, they too can fail. And they are dependent on a network and require a what? A power source. Whereas a simple map and a compass are affordable, right? And they will virtually last forever and are basically fail-safe. So in a true survival situation or a long-term SHTF event, all of these conveniences, they fade away, forcing us back to basics, right? Like I've been telling everybody, get back to basics in the kitchen, okay? So I suggest looking to history and seeing what people's like such as the Native Americans or the long hunters carried with them to survive daily. They carried fewer items than we do because those items were incredibly durable, were taken care of, and had several different uses. Now, transportation. So this suggestion may ruffle feathers, but listen, I got to be truthful with all of you, okay? Remember to be honest with your assessment, okay? If you own a car, truck, SUV, van, whatever, or more than one, take a moment to consider if you need it, okay? Most of us, including myself, cannot fathom not owning a car, right? Because we're always busy and we're on the go, and do not live close to our jobs or stores that sell necessities. Now, owning a car is also deeply ingrained in our culture, but take into account where and how you live, right? And a vehicle may not be as necessary as you think. Now, I know you're going to say, you must have read too much into those 15-minute cities. No, I did not. Okay, I think they're horrible, but just listen to me, okay? This is especially true of urban areas where one can trade in a vehicle for public transportation, a bike, or walking, okay? So getting rid of a car can actually save you a lot of money and reduce a lot of stress because they require a person to buy a car, driver's license, renew it, license plates, renew tags, insurance, keep it up to date, buy fuel, general maintenance and upkeep, and blah, 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 and have a place to store it, especially if you don't have a garage, okay? Just ask Jason over at the Angry Prepper what he goes through. So living in New York. So now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying that any of the above are negative reasons for owning a car or a vehicle, but a lot of time and money is put into owning one, okay? And it's a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. So depending on where you live, a person can go without this major item, okay? So knowledge and skills and gear. When talking about survival situations, there's a pyramid diagram that actually describes the relationship between knowledge and skills and gear, like this one. Now, I found this on a website called Survival Cache. Great website, love it to death, okay? Very, very informative. Now, the size of each section represents a level of importance, and gear is great to have, but it may not always be available, and without the skill and the knowledge to use it, gear is pretty much worthless, okay? So you can spend all this money on gear, and if SHTF happens, you're like, I don't know how to use this. Am I supposed to pull this cord or push that? Okay. Unless you sit down when you first get that gear and you read the manuals and you practice it, you might as well have just thrown it in the trash. Okay, I'm serious. Like when I first got my gas mask from MIRA, I literally sat there and I was playing with it for hours because I wanted to know the ins and outs of that darn thing for a just in case. And I'm glad that I did. Okay. Um, because, knowledge and skills weigh nothing and can never be taken away from you. That's why I have all of those PDFs. I have like 600 and something PDFs that I give to everybody, and I email them to everybody who wants them, because without your knowledge and without your skills, everything else is worthless. You can have all the preps in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, those preps, what are they worth? Nothing. So simply put, focus more on obtaining your knowledge, okay, and practicing skills over pursuit of buying more and more stuff, okay? Stop buying the expensive stuff. Stop it. Unless you, okay, knowledge is power. Unless you are knowledgeable in different aspects of being of the prepared mind, stop buying your stuff right now. I mean, continue to stockpile on your food and your water and all, okay, because you can't go wrong there. But you should be knowledgeable right now in gardening, okay? Get those freedom gardens going, okay? You should be knowledgeable in different aspects. Otherwise, I mean, you buying all of this stuff from all these different companies and stuff, it's worthless. You're wasting your money, okay? And I'm not trying to put you down, and I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, push you away from doing what you want to do. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to educate you and show you that's not the way to go for right now, okay? I don't want you to waste your money, because I wish that someone would have said to me, hey, don't buy that right now. Read this first, please. Okay? Knowledge is power. Learn first, and then buy stuff, okay? But get your food preps and your water preps first. And read those PDFs. If anybody needs them, email me, okay, and I'll send them, all of them over to you, okay? It's not a problem. I have them on my Dropbox, okay, so I'll send you, it's one link, and it brings you right to my Dropbox, and you have access to all of them, okay? But obtaining knowledge costs you absolutely nothing, okay? But the amount of money that you will invest in all of this gear, garbage, seriously, because knowledge is power, okay? So I want you to slow down, and I want you to start focusing, okay? Because with what is coming down the pike, not just financial wise, with the market and things like that, with CBDC and UBI, and there's just so much going on. And there's a lot of things that I'm no longer allowed to talk about. Okay. So if you see some shifts and some changes with my content on here, please don't fault me for that. I'm just tired of getting strikes, man. Okay. So my newsletters that I put out every single month, I know we have a lot of new people here. I put out a newsletter every single month, and it's free. So if you would like to get on the newsletter mailing list, I email the newsletter out every single month, okay? And I'll email it to you. It's absolutely free, The newsletters are going to get a little bit more crazy, okay? Because they're cracking down. They are cracking down big time, and I'm not going to take no more chances. I'm sorry. Okay. And I know you guys who have been with me for a long time, I know, and you're not even going to ask questions, but listen, nowadays, many people are constantly on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. I need you guys to just slow down. Okay. Multitasking. Hey, listen, we're moms, we're dads, we got kids, we got the family, that's what we do. We multitask, right? But sit for a second, grab your coffee, get your snack. Let's talk. All right. Sit down for a second. It's not going to hurt, by slowing down and focusing on just the simple things in life. You may discover that the many needs in our lives are wants that are both burdensome and stressful. And one of those things is what you're watching me on right now, a smartphone. I could make the argument that most of us don't need it. Sure, we need a phone to call family, friends, call me, hey. But you do need it for in a case of an emergency. I get that. But almost all the other functions of a smartphone, we don't need it in our faces 24/7. I know people that are like this or that are like this 24/7. And I tell them, would you put that thing down for 2 friggin' seconds? Have a conversation. Please. Remember what it was back in the 80s? Social media was who's coming over for coffee and Entenmann's. Okay? That's what it was like in our family. But I'm Italian. But seriously, that's what it was back in our family in the 80s. Who's coming over for coffee and Entenmann's? We were having company when Grandma put the Entenmann's on the table. Okay? That's what social media was back when I was growing up. We don't do social media no more in this house. I can't stand it. Okay? We got rid of all of it. This is all I do right here. But the reason why I still do this is because I got so close to just about every single one of you. A lot of you guys have my phone number. So, you know what I mean? I talk to a lot of you all over the country. I'm not going to give that up. I've made such great friends. I'm not giving that up. So, anyway, all right, guys. I'm done. All right. But yes, you can become a minimalist. All right. I know I got off topic. I'm Italian. I can't help it. All right. I love you. Okay. I appreciate you. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.